Welcome to The Explainer. Now, today we're tackling something you've probably heard blaring from a tablet or a TV in the background of a busy home, and let's be honest, you probably dismissed it as just pure, colorful noise. We're talking about the seemingly chaotic world of viral children's content, specifically focusing on the fascinating universe of Sheriff Zozo. On the surface, yeah, it's a massive sensory overload of repetitive songs, animated animals, and frantic action. But today, we're going to look a little closer. We're going to break it all down and decode the hidden structure inside, treating it not as background noise, but as a highly calibrated curriculum for toddlers.
Breaking everything, messing up the playground, drawing, kicking, throwing trash around. Haha. Now, I read that with complete deadpan sincerity, because this direct quote from the source material perfectly captures the sheer, unfiltered chaos we're dealing with here. To us adults, it sounds like a literal description of a toddler's absolute worst tantrum. But as you'll see, highlighting this chaos is actually step one in bringing analytical order to it. This content is deliberately identifying the very behaviors it aims to correct.
To make sense of all this, we're going to treat it like a digital survival guide and break it down into 5 key themes. First, the Zozo curriculum itself. Then, community helpers, household hazards, hygiene and routines, and finally, the importance of play. All right, let's dive right into Section 1. The Sheriff Zozo curriculum and its specific pedagogical tools. To really understand this curriculum, we have to look at how repetition and frantic pacing are actually deliberate teaching tools. Throughout the source material, you hear these relentless, recurring phrases. Remember it, baby, and must be careful. Now sure, it might drive parents a bit crazy, but these repetitive motifs act as an auditory anchor. You see, for early childhood learners, repetition isn't boring at all. It's absolutely essential. It enforces memory. Every single time the song introduces a new rule, bam, it hits them with these exact phrases to cement the lesson right into the child's developing brain. Moving on to Section 2, community helpers, and figuring out who to trust. It's fascinating how clearly the lyrics map out 3 foundational professions and their specific roles in society. You've got the police, right? They're brave, they have badges, and their duty is safety and crossing roads. Then there are doctors, armed with stethoscopes and smiles, ready to fix you from head to feet. And of course, teachers, with their books, providing guidance and teaching ABCs and numbers. By linking a visible tool or a positive trait directly to a comforting duty, it takes these giant abstract societal roles and makes them completely concrete for a toddler.
And this sets up a brilliantly clear moral binary. Think about it. The bad guy basically just literalizes a toddler's worst behavior: stealing, breaking things, throwing trash everywhere. Contrast that with the police, who are entirely defined by bravery, rescuing people, and keeping everyone safe. It perfectly contrasts the literal messiness and unruliness of the thief with the ultimate order of the place. It's teaching right from wrong through very simple visual extremes.
But it's not all just strict rules. There's a lot of comfort built in too. The song uses this rhythmic, repetitive reassurance. Me no, rescue, rescue, we go, never give up. It's essentially a promise to the child. No matter what happens, whether they get lost or see something scary, help is always on the way. The community helpers aren't just authority figures. They're framed as relentless protectors. But hey, the big wide world isn't the only place a toddler faces peril, is it? Which begs the question, what happens when the danger is coming from inside the house? How does this digital curriculum pivot from public safety to dealing with everyday domestic hazards? That brings us to Section 3, household hazards and establishing domestic boundaries.
For a toddler on the loose, the house is just a giant map of boundaries. The source material actually calls out exactly 4 domestic hazards by name. We're talking sharp scissors that cause cuts, high places that lead to falling, hot stoves that cause burns, and electrical sockets that give shocks. The song is constantly warning the baby to stay away from these specific items. It's literally a highly targeted checklist of a home's most common pain points.
The real genius here is the universal rule applied to all these hazards. They aren't trying to teach a 2-year-old the complex physics of electricity or thermodynamics, right? Instead, they define danger simply by the required reaction: instant cessation of activity. No, don't touch it, stop right there. It's basically a Pavlovian response designed to just keep those little hands away from harm. Okay, so once we've managed to survive the living room and the kitchen without a trip to the ER, we face a totally different kind of domestic challenge. How do we actually keep ourselves clean? Let's look at Section 4, hygiene and daily routines, specifically those daily procedures.
Anyone with kids knows potty training and bathroom autonomy is a notoriously tough milestone, but this content builds it into super easy, actionable steps. Step 1, flush. Step 2, wipe the seat. Step 3, wash your hands and rinse off with bubbles. By putting it into a catchy song, it breaks down the complex daily chores of personal hygiene into a really simple, memorable checklist. And I absolutely love the vivid imagery they use here to make it stick. Listen to this. Give the toilet a flush, swallowing everything. Keep it neat, shiny, tidy, and bright. It's a little bit funny, right? Turning the toilet into this hungry machine swallowing everything. It completely demystifies that loud, kind of scary flushing noise and makes bathroom hygiene clear, engaging, and even a bit fun for a toddler. But look, you can't just have a curriculum that's all about stopping, washing, and avoiding danger. After all the learning, the strict safety rules, and the bathroom routines, is there actually any time left for fun? Absolutely. Which leads us to our final section, Section 5, the importance of play, recreation, and thrills. This portion of the content basically serves as a reward and a confidence builder after all those rules. And notice the highly imaginative, okay, maybe slightly bizarre, animal metaphors the creators use for the playground equipment. The monkey bars are naturally for swinging like a monkey. But then the big slide is for flying like a giraffe, and the seesaw is for going up and down, flying like a bird. It uses the super familiar world of animals to make intimidating metal playground structures feel totally accessible and exciting. And it's not all just gentle play. It actually introduces a really strong racing mindset, too. The lyrics dive into driving speedy cars, navigating twists and turns, and figuring out who is the fastest. There's even this triumphant shout of, "Yes, I'm the winner." It's openly encouraging healthy competition and speed. It pushes children to strive, to try hard, and to really experience the joy of winning. But the cool thing is, underpinning all of this play is a rock-solid foundation of support. The recurring message here is, come on, don't be scared, baby, it's gonna be fun. It fully acknowledges that high slides and fast cars can be pretty intimidating. Here, the repetition isn't warning them of danger, it's cheering them on, pushing kids to overcome their natural hesitations and just enjoy their environment. So, what's the ultimate takeaway when we piece all this together? Well, it becomes pretty clear that this seemingly random mashup of flashing lights and repetitive tunes is, in reality, a highly structured toolkit for early childhood socialization. It's literally teaching them who to trust, what to avoid, how to clean up, and how to play bravely. It all wraps up with this incredibly wholesome, overarching message from the source: learning, growing in every way, curiosity, a race we won. And that just beautifully hits the nail on the head. That is the true goal of this digital toddler curriculum. Beneath all that chaotic surface noise, the ultimate objective is holistic growth and sparking a triumphant sense of curiosity. It really changes how you look at a screen playing kids' animations, doesn't it? It makes you wonder what other chaotic digital content out there might actually be a hidden syllabus in disguise. I definitely encourage you to look a little deeper at the media surrounding us. You might just find a masterclass hiding in plain sight. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep questioning what you see.